Got to send up the biggest rest in peace to one of the down south staples of the past decade. Rich homie Quan unfortunately passed away at the age of 34. He died Thursday in his Atlanta, Georgia home. At this time, no cause of death has been released. There are rumblings starting to float around on the internet that I refuse to confirm nor deny because I don't know at this current time. We'll let the family do that. For anybody familiar with music over the past 10 years, Rich homie Quan has been one of them. He hit the scene with some type of way and just took off from there. Couple of classic mixtapes, a staple on records. He had an incredible run with Young Thug, with the Rich Gang group that they were able to create. And since then, Rich homie has still been formidable. His career has still continued on. He's had big records with premier acts like Travis Scott, and I can go down the list discussing Rich homie and what he's meant to not only the Atlanta rap scene, but the South in general. I will say this, Young Thug is probably known as one of the most influential artists to come out of Atlanta over the past decade. I'm not so sure his run happens the way it did if not for that run he had early in his career with Birdman and Rich homie Quan specifically. That Lifestyle record and then that tape that those two were able to do was a big part of Young Thug's trajectory. It actually warmed people up to Young Thug because if I remember before that point, a lot of people were not feeling Young Thug. So I know they had their differences, but I definitely wanted to say a rest in peace. I don't like making videos about myself, especially videos in this nature. I do want to say this though, because I can't usually say this with artists that we lose. I've been around Rich homie Quan probably 4 or 5 times. The one time I'll speak to was actually not in person. His manager at the time, Monte, set up a phone call between me and Rich homie, and we did an interview. For all my longtime supporters, y'all are familiar with this conversation. I talked to Rich homie Quan on that phone for maybe an hour and a half. I ended the interview. He literally wanted to continue to talk about his career and everything that was going on with him. So I want to say rest in peace to Rich homie Quan. Prayers to that man's family. His impact, I cannot understate how important Rich homie Quan was to the Atlanta scene and some of the artists you listen to today. Rich homie Quan has been there for them in their careers. Oftentimes he was an early cosign musically. He was one of the artists that you get a record from first and then it propels you to get other records, right? Like Rich homie Quan was a dude that would stay and do every single interview. And I know people get that a lot, but he really is one of those people that would sit and talk. No platform was too big or small for Rich homie Quan to give his time to. I think the brother was incredibly grateful for his position, even in his latter of years in his career, right? Like he just incredibly grateful and gracious for anybody that booked him for a show. He came and gave you the same show that he would have gave you yesteryear. So this is an unfortunate passing for sure on a lot of different levels. And you know, that young man was only 34. That's bad. I saw Boosie put some out in the atmosphere. I don't believe that was the right way to go about that. That man has a family that deserves to announce that the way they want to. It is out there. I will say, I'm not going to say it, but I will offer this. You know, we got to be concerned about what we're putting in our bodies, and not just food either. How we treat ourselves is a serious part of this thing called life. I want to thank y'all so much for the time, love, and support, man. This is a tough one. Man, please drop your favorite Rich homie Quan record in the comment section. Y'all know I'm from Memphis, so I mean that record I know with Gotti is one of my favorite records of all time. I'm probably about to play it right now if I'm being completely honest with y'all. Terrible. You know, Rich homie Quan did an interview this week just to tell you just how relevant and present he is in the moment right now, because he was reacting to the Young Thug trial and some of the proceedings and how recently his name and him and his dad in their barbershop had got brought up, right? So like, it's just crazy. Life is just crazy. Life is just crazy. And it's just so precious. Rest in peace to Rich homie Quan. For sure, gone too soon. The dude that felt like the man when he walked through, gone at age 34. Rest in peace and prayers to that man's family. I'm out. All right, y'all, the NFL season is here. Head over to Underdog Fantasy. Use my promo code FERRO. You can already make your picks for the entire season. Here are some guys that I believe are going to have great years. If your picks are correct, you're going to win a lot of cheese. Use my promo code FERRO. Tell me when you did it. I might even give you a free copy of Madden 25 or NCAA College Football 25.